Welcome in, y'all. We are doing power rankings after week 12. We're going to rank them into tiers like we did a couple times ago here. I feel like it's the most effective way because I feel like when you get to the nitty gritty of it, trying to get exact spots, it just becomes really tough because a lot of teams haven't played each other or similar resumes. And I think this is better. So we got 5 categories here. We're going to put them in. We'll just go team by team in order down at the bottom. And the first one up is the Los Angeles Rams, and very fitting. They looked absolutely dominant last night on Sunday Night Football. They beat a pretty good Bucs team 34-7. The Rams are absolutely rolling right now. They look like the most complete team in football at the moment, and I think there's no question they go up to that look elite category there. Next up is the Browns. And I think they belong in the more bad than good. Not as far down as trash, because the defense has proven to be an incredible unit. And it's really, the offense is not great. It's not a good offense. But the defense is one of the best defenses in the league. It's won them some games. They look decent. And they played pretty well against the Raiders yesterday. So more bad than good there. They're still not a good team, but they don't belong all the way down in trash. Atlanta, similar, more bad than good. It's been a rough year for them. Didn't go the way they expected it to. They've had a couple big wins, but they've just had some head scratching losses. Then they've had some injuries. They picked up a win this week in New Orleans. Doesn't really do much for them. They're not going to make the playoffs, and they don't hold their first overall draft pick. So really the rest of their season, just rough time to be a Falcon fan. You're really not playing for anything, win or lose. So really unfortunate there for Atlanta. The Chargers, I'm going to put them in good, not great. So, Super Bowl contenders, I just don't know that I trust them right now to put them in that category. They just got blown out by the Jaguars. They have a couple tough losses. I don't know about the Chargers team. When they've been good, they've looked really good in some of their wins. The win against the Chiefs earlier in the year, the win against the Vikings, against Steelers, but when they look bad, it's bad. It's really bad. So it's really hard to get a read on this team, and the injuries are piling up for them as well. But yeah, just hard to trust them right now, but we'll see. The San Francisco 49ers. So this is a team that I think last week and a couple weeks before I might have had them at the good, not great. They do play tonight, by the way, so obviously this would change that. They're 7-point favorites tonight. If they lose tonight, they're definitely going to drop. I have them, I think, in the Super Bowl contender spot at the very, very tail end of it. By the way, I'm not going to rank teams inside the tiers, just making that clear. But the Niners are at the very tail end of the Super Bowl contenders, and that's because they have a coach and a lot of players on that team that have gotten there before. Shanahan can get this team to the Super Bowl. He's done it several times. Purdy has shown they can get there. They can win playoff games. They can outcoach some people. The defense is really, really beat up. So I don't know how much I trust them. Like I would be pretty surprised if they made a run, just given the state of the injuries on the team. But I wouldn't put it past them. The Panthers, good, not great. They're not. They have a winning record at the time of making this, right? They haven't played tonight yet, so you can't put them in more bad than good. They're definitely not a Super Bowl contender, though, so I think good, not great, kind of fits them. They're a confusing team. I've never seen a team this far in the season have this decent of a record and be hated by all the analytics by so much. They just despise them. I don't necessarily blame them. The Panthers haven't looked amazing this season despite their record, but I don't know. I'm rooting for them. I'd like to see them maybe, with the Bucs struggles, who knows? Maybe the Panthers can slip into the playoffs there. They do, they play the Bucs 2 more times. They played them twice. They haven't played them yet this year. So, you win those and you're probably taking the division. So we'll have to see. but that's where I have them right now. Seattle, I'm going to throw them at the top with the Rams in the look elite. And let me be clear, I'll probably reiterate this a couple more times. Super Bowl contenders and look elite. I'm not specifically saying like Seattle. I'm not saying I would take them in the playoffs over the teams I have in Super Bowl contenders, but with this being power rankings, there's just some teams like the Bills are a great example. I think they get in the playoffs. You have Josh Allen, whatever. I think they're as good a chance as anyone in the AFC to go to the Super Bowl. Like I'd probably take them over Seattle, all that stuff. But just the way they're playing right now, I can't have them, at that top. So that's kind of an explanation of that. But Seattle, they look elite. Their only loss in the last quite a long time is at LA last week. They lost on the missed 61-yard field goal as time expired. That was a hard fought game. I still don't trust Darnold. I've been saying that for weeks upon weeks. But they got a nice little bounce back win against the Titans. Maybe got a bit closer than it should have been down the stretch. I would have liked to see them kind of stretch that lead out and hold on to it. But, I mean, they were ahead the whole game. Let's be honest here. It was really just some late scores by the Titans. But Seattle, they're playing good football. They're playing good football right now. The Bills, like I said, I was just talking about them. Super Bowl contenders for sure. They're not playing. They don't look elite right now. You're watching their games. They just lost to Houston this week. But there's no doubt when the AFC playoffs start, they're definitely a Super Bowl contender because that AFC, man, it's wide open. It is wide open. It's going to be a lot of fun this year because it's always interesting when you have teams at the top with really good records, right? Pats and Colts and whatnot. But, they're not proven. Are the rosters really that good? And then, so it's like, they're going to have the home field against teams like Buffalo and Kansas City. I just think it makes for a really fun fun playoffs there in the AFC. Green Bay, I am going to go Super Bowl contender. They don't look elite right now, but they're definitely above that middle tier. This Packers roster maybe hasn't played up to its capabilities in a lot of games this year, but despite that, they're still 7-3-1. They have one of the best rosters in the NFL. I like their head coach. This is a team I would not be surprised to be playing in February in Santa Clara. Definitely a Super Bowl contender for the Pack. And they got a nice home win against the Vikings. They did what they needed to do. They suffocated McCarthy in that Vikings offense, and they did enough offensively to win that game fairly easily. That was a good win for the Pack. No slip-ups for them there. Saints, they're gonna fall down in our trash tier. Just not a good team. Not a good team this year. They're fighting hard, in the games. I like to see it, some entertaining games. But they're just not a good team. Really not much to say there. Similar about the Raiders. Raiders are definitely a more disappointing one, though, because the Saints, coming into the season, they were 31 or 32 on, a majority of people's power rankings. The Raiders, I think their fans thought they had a decent chance to do a little something this year. Maybe not make the playoffs. Maybe their fans thought that. But, we were like, hey, Raiders could win 7-8 games, maybe, put up some competition against good teams, but that just hasn't been the case. They've played really, really bad football, especially recently, and they're at that bottom tier for sure. Cowboys, good, not great. I can't put them in that Super Bowl contender category. I know they just beat a very, very good Eagles team, but at 5-5-1, this is a team that's hot and cold a lot of times. It's hard to trust them. And they don't have the easiest schedule, to be honest. They play the Chiefs this week on Thanksgiving. They still have the Chargers in there. They play the Lions next Thursday. So they have some tough games. It's going to be a struggle to make the playoffs. They're still a couple games back. I think they belong here. But I think they're a fun team. Next up, Chicago. So this is a tough one. They're playing they're playing good football right now. But I'm going to put them in good, not great, because first off, it's not like they're beating big teams, right? They're not. You can only beat who you play, right? But they're not beating powerhouses out there, and I don't trust them to go and win the Super Bowl. And a lot of that is just the way things lay out for them. because their schedule's pretty difficult. They still play the Packers twice. They still have the Lions. They have a couple of other they have the Eagles this week. So a lot of tough games that I would just be surprised if they were able to get any home field in the playoffs. And if they did, they'd still probably be down at the 3 or 4 seed, still having to go on the road and win a couple. I love this team. I hope, they continue the upward trajectory. I think Caleb Williams is definitely improving, has a high ceiling. I think next year they could be really lethal. They got a chance this year. They absolutely do. I just don't think I could look at someone with a straight face and say that I think the Bears are a super realistic Super Bowl contender this year. I know Bears fans will very violently disagree with that, and power to them. Their teams has this good of a record for the first time in quite a while, it feels like. They're probably pretty high on the team, and I love to see it. I've always said before on this channel, I love seeing teams that haven't been doing well do well. I just like shaking things up. So, you know what? I hope the Bears win the North. I do. I hope the Chicago Bears win the North, but I still want to see them do it against a really good team. Colts. Oh, man. So, you might disagree with this one. I'm putting them up in that look elite category. They should have won this game this week. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. I understand. This isn't a standings video. I think the Colts played a very, very good game against the Chiefs. A couple things. First off, Colts should have home field for games like that in the playoffs. They should be home against the Chiefs. They'll be home against the Bills if they get those matchups. But second, even if they had to go on the road, the way they played in that game gave me confidence that this Colts team can absolutely go on the road in a tough place in the playoffs, and I think they can get wins. I really liked what I saw from them on Sunday. It was a tough lead to give up, in the fourth quarter and lose in overtime. It's not good. I understand they kind of blew the game a little bit, but I think it inspired some confidence there. I think the big deal for them is what seed can they get? Can they get their number 1 seed? Because right now New England and Denver have their eyes on it. But man, if Indy could get that home field, that would be. This is a very, very good team. They look pretty dangerous out there, in my opinion. So I think it's a good Colts team. Miami, more bad than good, but they've been playing better ball recently, and they're definitely a threat to actually move up a category to the good, not great. They've been playing better ball. They're coming off a bye here, coming off a few wins in a row, and we'll see. We'll see how they do coming out of the bye. If they won out, theoretically, they might make the playoffs, but that's not going to happen. But we'll see. They're playing pretty good football right now at the moment. New England, man, I'm going to have them in that look elite category. But again, I'll preface, I think I would take, every team except maybe the Niners from those top 2 tiers over the Patriots. I love it though. I love Drake May. I love watching them. And I really hope this team does well. See, I know the Patriots just had their dynasty. It's only been just over 5 years since that kind of ended. But man, does that feel like forever ago. To me, in my mind, the Patriots are like the Colts and Bears, where it's like this is a team that hasn't been good in a while, so I'm rooting for them. So I don't know, that's kind of weird, but I find myself rooting for this Pats team. They look elite right now. They have a really good record. They haven't played the toughest schedule, but you know what? They've faced some tests and they've passed them. They went on the road in Buffalo, got a win. On the road in Tampa, got a win. They're doing good. I think they deserve to be up there, and they're a pretty good chance at that 1 seed right now. Their schedule is really easy. It's really easy down the stretch. I think they really only have 2 tough games. And you know what? They could lose both and still get the 1 seed. Depends on how things shake out. We'll see. But those 2 tough games are home against Buffalo and at Baltimore. That's just off the top of my head. I can't remember, but I don't recall any really tough games that stick out for me there for them. Then we have Detroit. They've struggled recently. They almost lost to the Giants, but they definitely belong in the Super Bowl contender category. They are a Super Bowl contender. There's definitely some teams I would take over them. The Lions have had their struggles this year. They don't look quite as good as they did last season. This is still a team that's a threat, especially if they're able to win the division and get that home field. I don't know if this is a team I trust to go on the road in bad weather environments in the playoffs and get wins, but they're hoping to set themselves up in a spot where they don't have to do that. And they have a big one on Thanksgiving. Packers Lions right next to each other on this, and the winner of that game gets a big step up. I mean, if Green Bay wins that game, Lions' path to winning the division is brutal, right? Because they would be 1.5 games back of Green Bay, and Green Bay would hold the tiebreaker, which I guess tiebreaker doesn't matter because they won't tie unless Detroit gets a tie this year because Green Bay has a tie. But yeah, I mean, this is a huge game on Thursday to decide the division potentially. I mean, I know Chicago's still there, but we'll see with that. Cincinnati, more bad than good right now, I guess. I mean, they're getting Burrow back this week and Jamar Chase back, so... Well, okay, that's not confirmed yet, but Burrow almost played this past Sunday. I'd be surprised if he didn't play Thursday. Maybe they're just like, it's a lost season, let's not play him, which that'd be unfortunate. I think it's just good for football to have him out there. But, who knows? We'll see. But they're definitely more bad than good right now. They've had a lot of close losses, man. A lot of close losses. And it's just unfortunate. You hate to see it. But, yeah, this is a team probably not seeing the postseason for yet another season. Titans, they're in trash. I mean, they played a bit better recently, but they're not a good football team. Really not much to say about them. Philadelphia, yeah, they lost this week. They're a Super Bowl contender. There's no doubt about it. I mean, honestly, I'd have them right behind the Rams as far as odds to come out of the NFC because I think I just trust them more than some of these other NFC teams. But they didn't look good against the Cowboys. They lost that game, and really, the Cowboys had a lot of mistakes. It could have been worse. Like, the way the two teams played in that game. I mean, the Cowboys, they could have stretched out a little lead there. So, I don't know with the Eagles. I don't know. They find ways to win games most of the time against good teams, but they just haven't looked great this season despite a good record. So who knows? Jacksonville, good, not great. They're winning games. I like it, but I have them kind of in the Charger Bear kind of vibe here where they have a good record, but how good are they really? It's hard to say, and even if they are good, am I going to look at you with a straight face and say, yeah, I think Jacksonville is a legit Super Bowl contender this season? I don't think so. I hope so. That'd be awesome. That'd be a lot of fun if they stuck in there, went on a little run, Trevor Lawrence, But I don't see it happening. They're a little inconsistent offensively, but we'll see. We'll see. A lot of season left. They could catch the Colts at this point. I mean, they do still play them twice, I believe. You win both those games, and, I mean, all of a sudden, the Colts go from looking like a one-seed team to maybe a wild card, so that'd be crazy. Denver here is next, and I struggle with this one. Because do they look elite? They just beat the Chiefs. I guess I'll leave them in the look elite, right? They've tied for like one of the best records in the NFL, or just a half game back. They just beat a very good Chiefs team as underdogs. They haven't looked super great this year, but they have some big wins. They've proven it. They got the job done, and their two losses were very, very close losses to two very good teams, the Chargers and the Colts. So, I mean, props to the Broncos. And right now, this division is theirs to lose. They should win this division. They do have some tough games. They still go to Kansas City. They still play the Chargers again. They still play the Packers. So it's not going to be a cakewalk. They do have to still focus and get this job done. It'd be crazy if they somehow lost the division now. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'll have them up there in that top category right now. The Broncos are doing good stuff, and they're on the road in Washington this week. I haven't heard if there's any chance Jaden Daniels comes back. That would certainly throw a wrench into things. So I'll keep my eye on that one. The Giants, man, I can't put them in trash. They're more bad than good. But man, it's almost like you could put them in good, not great. They're playing, it seems like for most of this year, pretty darn good football. And they just keep coming up short in the end. They've had like 5 games this season where they you could honestly say, yeah, they probably should have won that game. That's demoralizing for a team, obviously, but I think it's a good sign for next season. I think this Giants team could make some noise next year. They have to have a good offseason. They have to have a good draft. But we'll see. I think they could make some noise. They've been right there. They just need to start finding ways to win those games. Minnesota is definitely more bad than good, and most of that falls onto J.J. McCarthy. He has been a bust. He has not looked good. And the Vikings, a team that had Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones on the roster last season, probably is not feeling too good about their future right now. That really stinks. Tough season for the Vikings. They're not going to make the playoffs. It's been a rough one there in Minnesota, and they had a tough loss this week. McCarthy looked bad again. Arizona is next. I'll put them in more bad than good. They don't necessarily belong down in trash. They've lost a lot of close games this year too. They've taken a lot of good teams to the wire, just can't quite get it done. But yeah, I don't know what the heck they're doing about their future with Kyler Murray, because it's just not working. It's not working out there. I don't know if it's him, if it's the team, a mixture, but it's just not working out there. I know he hasn't played in 3 or 4 weeks now, maybe more. It's kind of like he's getting a soft benching, who knows? Baltimore next. Come on. They're a Super Bowl contender. I'm not going to kid myself here. If they get in the dance, they're a Super Bowl contender. And with Pittsburgh's loss, it certainly looks like Baltimore is going to be able to move up. They're going to be able to take that division, and they're a team you don't want to play, in the AFC. They're going to be dangerous, and maybe this is the year with all the chaos going on in the AFC. Maybe this Ravens team comes in, they come in hot, they come in flying under the radar a little bit, and they go on a run to the Super Bowl. Maybe this is it. We'll see. The Chiefs, Super Bowl contender. Again, this is one of those scenarios. Let's not kid ourselves here. They've had their struggles, but if they get in the dance, there's not many teams and situations you're going to take over them, as unfortunate as that is. I think it'd be a lot of fun if they missed the playoffs. That would really cause chaos, and it'd be wide open. We knew we'd have a fresh AFC championship game, a fresh AFC champion. I think that'd be fun. But I think at this rate, they're going to make the playoffs. Loss in Dallas this week would certainly shake that up. That should be a really fun Thanksgiving game. But right now they're looking to probably sneak into the playoffs as probably about a 6 seed or so. Tampa Bay, good, not great. They've fallen off here. This was a horrible week, right? They got killed on Sunday Night Football by the Rams. That's 3 losses in a row now to 3 very good teams, right? The Patriots, the Bills, the Rams. They're just going through a little rough stretch right now. They should still win the division and be in the playoffs. I don't think the Panthers will catch them, but all of a sudden, they need to be careful, because if Carolina beats them in their games together, you got problems in Tampa Bay. I'd like to see how long Baker's out for. Because without him, they're in a lot of trouble. They've had so many injuries, Tampa Bay has. Just an unfortunate fall off for the Bucs. The Jets, they're down in trash. It's been a rough year in New York. They didn't expect it to be a good one, but it's been rough. It's been worse than expected, I'd argue. Next up, Pittsburgh, good, not great. I mean, I've been saying that with this team. This is a classic Steelers team. They are good enough to be in the playoff conversation. Maybe they sneak in the playoffs. They still play Baltimore twice, so depending on how those games go, it's going to decide whether or not they win that division and make the playoffs. But this is not a team that I think is going to go on a run and go to the Super Bowl. I mean, Aaron Rodgers definitely gives them, a possibility, some things that other teams don't. He's such a good quarterback, but I just don't know that this team is quite good enough there. We'll see. I think it could be a lot of fun if Aaron Rodgers had one last ride, went to the Super Bowl or something, but I just don't know that it's meant to be this year. Washington is more bad than good. Yeah, I mean they were doing rough, and then Jaden Daniels got hurt, and then it just got really bad. Not the season they expected in Washington. You win 12 games last year. You maybe improve the team a little bit. You come back. You're expecting. I'm sure their fans were thinking Super Bowl or bust, and it just didn't go well. And I think that was to be expected. You look at stuff last year analytically, they weren't that great. They played a very easy schedule. This year, they got a tougher schedule. They had some injuries and stuff just kind of fell apart. But I think they'll be back next year. I think they'll retool a little bit. They still have a good team there in our nation's capital. Houston, tough placement, but I'm going to go good, not great because, again, that seems like a steep jump. Like good, not great versus Super Bowl contender is like a big difference because I think Houston's definitely at the top end of this tier. Because they're better than a lot of teams on it with how good that defense is. But I'm not going to take the Texans to win 3 straight playoff games. I just don't know how much I trust them. But that'd be a lot of fun, though. A little comeback story. They started the season 0-3. They're playing good ball now, though. They're winning games without C.J. Stroud, and he should be back. And they have a big one in Indianapolis this week. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a shame that this game did not get moved to Sunday Night Football. They left in Broncos at Commanders, really just a bad game. So that's unfortunate. But, Texans, Colts should be a fun one. That should be a fun one. And, the Colts got to bounce back from that Chiefs loss. So let me know what y'all think. What would you change? I think this is pretty fair. I think everyone from Super Bowl contenders up that has a chance at the Super Bowl. Honestly, I would be shocked if it's not one of those teams. So let me know what y'all think. It should be it should definitely be a fun week for sure. A great Thanksgiving slate. The Sunday slate isn't quite as good, but Thanksgiving should be a blast. So my picks video will be out tomorrow, and I will have my locks video out before those Thursday games as well, if I do indeed have a lock for those games. So should be a fun time, and we'll see how it goes. Should be a great week of football.